Greetings and welcome. TFT Tarot for today. Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, and today I have Lady Esmeralda here in a very crowded corner of our magical library. Goth Tarot is an exploration into our shadow selves, maybe helping us integrate things we feel or things we should be more aware of, perhaps. So it's, like most tarot, a predictive kind of thing, but it also talks about our emotional and other resonances to what's going on in our Gothic life. So I'm very enamored of a new deck I've gotten called the Midnight Boulevard. I've used it a couple times on the live stream, but I also used it last week in Goth Tarot, and I'm using it again. I've altered the reading a little bit, as I usually do, so it may actually alter again. We know how that goes. So today, I'm going to start off with the Boulevard Tarot, and I'm using it as a sense of being a general reading. So I'm going to just draw 3 cards for the general reading. And then from there, I may venture into more familiar Goth Tarot territory with my choices of other decks to use. Well, it is the 4 of Pentacles. What's up, right? Nice little dragon there. And then it's the 10 of Swords, which is also upright. And then finally, it's the reversed 3 of Pentacles. It seems like some of us may be in a position of feeling like we need to have more. We become either more covetous or we're just more into our comforts. You know, the 4 of Pentacles could be a person who's just a little bit more selfish, but maybe they feel like they need to be in what is comforting to them too. But there still is this tendency to want to hoard it and not necessarily share it or let it not become an obsession in your life. And this can only lead to something bad happening that looks like a stab in the back. It's the 10 of Swords, and so there's a feeling of a sense of revenge somebody wants, or getting even somebody wants. Sadly, just sort of now feeling this as the whole attitude towards what happened with the shooter and the CEO, Brian Thompson, and the suspect who has just very recently been arrested, but this almost plays into that. So then we move to the final card, is the reversed 3 of Pentacles. And it's the Midnight Boulevard, so it's more like a horror story in a way. But I feel this strong energy here that reminds me a little bit of either the Empress or the High Priestess in a way. More likely the Empress, because of course it is Pentacles, and it's talking about work-related things, I guess, or process-related things, jobs. And of course, a reverse 3 of Pentacles really has a connotation under these circumstances that we're talking about as looking like the ultimate end for things that aren't working out. I mean, it's beyond the idea that maybe somebody felt like they had to get revenge, but maybe showing that the goal was to show that the system is destroyed or the system isn't working. But to me, I'll be honest, I always feel like systems work as well as the people who are knowledgeable about how to use those systems. So what happens is people try to break rules or circumvent the system, and that's when accidents happen. So that's what we have there with the current state of things per Goth tarot. This could be a part of our real lives too, that basically we're paying more attention to what our obsessions are or what our materialistic needs or desires are, and possibly setting ourselves up for a great shock to the system or a great loss. I could see this playing out any number of ways, romantically, friendship-wise. You know, we lose people by being too greedy. I'll put it mildly that way. And then, of course, maybe this could represent that personal backlash. You know, the system doesn't work, so tear the system down. And that could be talking about, once again, the greater kind of ethos going on, but it could be talking about personally in our lives. The Three of Pentacles reversed could be saying somebody's life is falling apart, and so they may be inclined to just really do more things to make it fall apart faster. It's still the same principle, like trying to reach rock bottom. So we want to get beyond this really in a way, or maybe we want to get below it. And so this card I'm going to pull from the Haunted House Tarot. And I'm calling this position below the boulevard. Below the boulevard into maybe some other or actually finite trapping or thing embedded in us subconsciously otherwise that is key to understand here. What are we missing, I guess, is what another way of saying is, what is below the horizon for us in terms of being able to understand it or actually see it even. And I'm using the Haunted House Tarot because, of course, collectively speaking, sometimes a house sort of pertains to ourselves, our systems about ourselves, and we were talking about systems, so the metaphor is our house is our body, and so the attic may be a part of our brain or consciousness, but the basement, what's below the boulevard, is something that maybe we're missing, that we're not understanding. We sort of put it aside and forgot about it. What have we forgotten about? What is below the boulevard? How can it help us with the present situation? It's the reversed Five of Wands. So it's the reversed Five of Wands. What may be below all of this is the fact that there's a lot of competition going on. People don't really want to understand, let alone work with each other on some of these situations or projects. And I almost feel the analogy is once again back to the idea of, if I'm not getting my way, I may try to burn it down. So that's below. That's maybe a collective unconsciousness that I don't know if it's really what people are thinking or if it's the thing we've forgotten, i.e. the primal thing that could be invoked. And that maybe this speaks more to the idea of mob mentality, is what is below the surface here. That maybe, and if we want to apply it to the personal parts of our lives, if we're looking at this as not the public, not the greater sector, but personally, once again, maybe this could be saying what's below the surface is the idea that things can provoke us into rages or behaviors that we may feel sorry for, but will really be very primal and destructive. And so we have to kind of resolve that. And resolving that may be about going beyond the boulevard. And by that I mean looking at something that's really outside of ourselves and greater than ourselves, a power. It could be ourselves, but what we acknowledge as a higher power that we have to work at getting towards or rectifying. But at any rate, that represents a liminal quality between magic and the real world, if you will. And so I'm going to use the Dark Wood Tarot, which my wife is loaning me. The Banshee's loaning me the Dark Wood Tarot. It's a beautiful deck. Sasha Graham, I think, is the person writing or the artist. Anyway, going beyond the boulevard is trying to find something that's either liminal and brings us into a closer idea of understanding this and maybe finding ways to rectify it, or maybe it is saying these are the solutions that maybe come from beyond ourselves that we're not able to actually conceive or actualize, but then once we do, maybe we can work on manifesting these things. So what is beyond the boulevard? Once again, using the Dark Wood Tarot. Beyond the boulevard, it's the Queen of Wands, but she's reversed. The Queen of Wands reversed as something beyond the boulevard. This could be saying this is about ego. This is about kind of taming the ego a little bit, bringing it into perspective. And I'm using it contextually because a lot of times, the Queen of Wands reverse could have a specific kind of forceful kind of meaning here. But in this context, I think of Beyond the Boulevard, the quality we're looking for is more self-effacing. It's more about saying, really, I don't have to be the best, most calm, most charismatic, cultured kind of person. I maybe need to understand more, absorb more from what's around me. Maybe this is saying our solutions to this are really letting ourselves, meditate more, letting ourselves remove ourselves from the more ego-bound implications of all this, whether public or personal. Let's look at that one more time. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong about the Queen of Wands. I sort of get the feeling like the Banshee would. She might say, no, this is really saying that maybe this is a time to be a little bit more ferocious or a little bit more not caring about what your ego demands are or how they represent into your anti-charisma, your anti-charming. Is this really about saying like really more ferocious, forceful action is the answer? Or is this more about really telling us to remove some ego? I'm open to any other interpretations or possibilities. So I think that's it for our reading. And as I mentioned, I promised that I was going to do a shadow work and affirmation from the Earth and Bone Tarot. I haven't done, well, maybe I've done one recently. I usually do at least one a month. I also use the Dark Light Oracle and the Shadow and Light Oracle less often. The Oracle of the Hecatean Path I've used a few times and I like that one too. I didn't want to use any of those others specifically. I just sort of wanted to go Earth and Bone, Earth and Bone. So now we're going to pull a card here, and it serves as an oracle in a sense, but there really is some good components of shadow work, of integrating, our qualities with our major self, understanding them, and also a good affirmation. I like it because I use 3 different decks, and it's Trinity. Number 3, oddly enough, eh? Trinity. Balancing decisions, that's what we're talking about here, eh? Priorities, adapting to change. When you have so many wishes, focus on manifesting one at a time. Your energy may be too spread out. Keep in mind, not every wish may be a blessing. Weigh the pros and cons and hyper-focus on one. Prioritize your energy to meet one goal and move on once achieved. You may be needing to pivot if what you seek isn't aligned for your greatest good. Money, rewards, and success will come automatically if you have something to give. Listen to your intuition when the universe is revealing the truth. You'll know it by what aligns and feels right. Some say they experience ringing in their ears. You may experience a deafening sensation with a pleasant pressure in your ears that makes you feel slightly euphoric. Ultimately, you'll feel an expansion and excitement when you are aligned with the right step. You'll know when something is false and out of alignment when you experience through discomfort, agitation, irritability, or restlessness. The universe is saying, listen to your body. Your sensations and emotions are your key. And of course, Trinity could stand for many things: body, mind, soul, all of that. So I'm going to give the affirmation now. My focus and determination are in alignment with my greatest good. I am productive and complete tasks efficiently. I trust my inner guidance. And there's Trinity again for us. I think it folds pretty nicely. We use 3 different decks too, so that kind of is a little nod to the idea of Trinity. A lot of this could really be talking about the fact that there really is maybe one thing that really needs to define our focus. And that's where maybe it does come to the personal level less than the public level. I don't think we are on the verge of anything just yet, though I think it's coming. You know, some big changes in overall society. Things are changing, and some of that is, of course, about the American election, but it's also what's going on in the world too. So I don't really know how I can. I don't really want to make predictions at this point. Obviously, I'm not ready to. And Banshee would want me to do it with her. At any rate, that's our Goth Tarot for this week. I hope you liked my further work with the Midnight Boulevard. Check it out. It's a pretty awesome deck, and I think I got a good reading from it. Don't forget, tomorrow night is our live night. We will be live from 7 to 9 p.m., so check us out with your regular questions or general readings or whatever the sort. Friday is the emotional exchanges, and that's my reading for the signs of the zodiac, and it's more related to emotional relationships, love included. I have a segment at the end, who will be lucky or who will get lucky. So yeah, that's, exactly what it means, and that'll be after Pisces, so watch for that. Later on Friday, I'm going to do a unboxing video on the Incubus Tarot, and then Saturday is Happy Hour. Happy Hour will be later this morning, Saturday morning. It'll actually be in the afternoon. It'll be from 4 to 5 p.m. Banshee's Material Matters is at 10 a.m. on Sunday morning, and then our Sunday live stream is on at 2 to 4 p.m. So that's it, everybody. We'll see you next time.